And I'm muted. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pinball Storytellers. This is our first session in our brand new show. I'm here joined by Justin, and that's about it. So, I think we should first start. People are interested in what the show is about. I think we should first start explaining the name. Justin, you were the one to come up with Pinball Storytellers. Do you want to explain the name?
Yeah, so the original idea for the show was we wanted to find something we could do with D&D, and it's easy to tell stories, right? People tell stories all the time. But what D&D and what any RPG system does is when you tell a story and you're not sure what's going to happen, the system gives you rules to tell you what's going to happen. If there's uncertainty and you roll a die and you see like what you get from a certain level of results. So what we wanted to do with stories is we wanted to take classic stories that everyone knows and put them in a D&D world, and instead of having them proceed the way they're supposed to, they're going to proceed the way they would if they were D&D, and random stuff could happen based on some die rolls. Yeah,
and the first story we're going to try out and see how it goes in this brand new system we're having. We're going to try out it's a story that I'm sure each and every one of you is familiar with. What's it? The Red Riding Hood?
It's Red Riding Hood.
Red Riding Hood. Okay, that's the first story we're gonna try and approach with this new system we're trying out. Okay, so how do you want to start, Justin?
Well, I think the first thing we got to do is everyone knows the story of Red Riding Hood, but for those of you who maybe are a little fuzzy, maybe not familiar with it, or maybe don't know which version of the Red Riding Hood story we're doing, because there's more than one. One day, Little Red Riding Hood gets a picnic basket from her mother. Not even a basket. She's actually supposed to hold it in her skirt to take to her sick grandmother. And she has to go through the woods. She encounters a wolf. The wolf deceives her into picking some flowers for her grandmother. And meanwhile, he races ahead, gets into the grandmother's cottage through deception, eats the grandmother, waits for Red Riding Hood. Red Riding Hood comes. He eats Red Riding Hood. Eventually, a huntsman or a woodsman comes by, cuts open the wolf. They sew stones into the wolf's stomach because apparently Red Riding Hood and Grandma are still alive.
Yeah.
And the wolf wakes up, tries to run away, and dies.
That's
and there's a little bit of an epilogue. That's the original story.
Yeah, and we're gonna try this, and basically each of us is gonna play characters in this story. None of us know beforehand which one I'm gonna play. So, for example, I could be the wolf, and Justin could be the Red Riding Hood, or the other way around. At first, what we're gonna do is gonna talk about the story and figure out a couple of details, a couple of little things that we think should be included because it makes a little bit more sense in our imagination.
I think the first thing we need to do is we need to roll stats because we need to know how these characters are.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That sounds pretty good. Let's roll for what characters did we have? We have Red Riding Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have
Red Riding Hood, the Big Bad Wolf, Grandma, and the woodsman / huntsman.
Yep.
So why don't we split that 50-50? You go first. Roll for... Actually, let's roll a 1d4. So 1 is woodsman, 2 is Grandma, 3 is Big Bad Wolf, and 4 is Red Riding Hood. So we're going to do the Grandma first, and you get to roll her stats.
Okay, so let's see about her story. I want to talk about her story a bit. Why did she end up in the forest? I mean, she's a grandma. She is sick at this point. She's pretty old. Why is she in the middle of the forest surrounded by wolves? It seems because even considering the epilogue, there's 3 wolves counted that have been to her house only in the story. So why pick such a dangerous place?
Maybe she followed her husband there.
Interesting.
Right? Maybe her husband was a ranger, and he was like, "I want to live in the woods," and she was like, "Whatever you say, darling. I'm so in love."
Yeah, and why did the huntsman visit? Maybe the huntsman visits because he's the nephew.
Oh yeah, he could be the nephew, or he could be like the son-in-law.
The
right?
The son-in-law. Yeah. So he already has a connection to grandma, so he visits her oftenly. That's why she kind of still can live in the forest without being threatened too much by the wildlife.
Okay. Here's a question: how come the wolf hasn't gotten into the house before this?
Maybe the house is enchanted. Maybe this ranger had some more than normal powers, and you cannot get into the house unless you invite it in.
Oh, okay. I like that. That'll make sense later on.
Okay, good. I think that's all about grandma.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. Let's roll her stats.
Okay.
So should we do just 3d6 or 4d6?
Oh, let's do 3d6. Let's not make them OP.
Okay. So 3d6.
These are normal human beings.
And we do them down the line.
Ooh, do we want to do them down the line or do we want to assign them?
I'm thinking down the line, assign one. Assign the highest. Maybe like
Okay.
have a specific on each character, but they can't really choose what they are.
I think that's fair. So I think Grandma's highest stat would probably be charisma, right? Because Red's very charismatic, presumably that runs in the family, and then she got this ranger to fall in love with her. She was probably a looker back in her day.
I would say that sounds pretty reasonable. Let's roll her stats.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a 15, a 10,
15.
8. Grandma OP. Okay.
Okay, so that 15 would have been strength, but because we decided charisma would be her highest stat, it's charisma instead.
Oh, Granny strength.
So that makes the 10 a strength, right? The 8 a dexterity. The second 10 is con. And then
Wisdom.
12 and 9 are wisdom and int.
Okay.
So she's fairly, she's average, and she's actually pretty average across the board, but she's super hot grandmas.
No, she's not necessarily hot. I mean, she was in the past.
She was in the past.
I'd say that now she has more people skills than anything else.
Maybe she still has that feminine mystique, though.
Yeah, like even elderly as she is, she can still roll young boys by the sound of her melodious voice.
Ooh. All right.
Okay, so you do next. I'm gonna roll a 1d3 for you. And
all right, so we're gonna go. Wolf is 1, Woodsman's 1. Big Bad Wolf is 2. Red is 3.
Exactly. 3. So you got the honor of rolling for Red Riding Hood.
Ooh. So we decided that she's gonna fall in the path of her grandma, and her highest stat's going to be charisma. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ooh, 16.
6.
Interesting.
She's even hotter than grandma.
I would say that actually for her, I would say dexterity is her. Being a little child, fast. I would say dexterity is better for the highest stat than charisma.
I could see an argument.
She doesn't really have that people skills. In the story, she just believes the wolf, doesn't know anything about him, and just doesn't even realize he's lying.
That's true. So 16 dexterity, 10 strength, which is sensible for a child. And then we skip straight to con. So she's a 13 con.
Yeah.
And then
Wisdom is a 9. And intelligence is a 13. It works. It works.
And then charisma is a 13.
Yeah.
So she's 13, 13, 13. Maybe she's a 13-year-old girl, eh? Okay.
Okay, so next in line, you can roll 1d2 for me. Huntsman is 1, 2 is wolf.
You can roll the huntsman.
Okay.
Saving the best for last, guys. Saving the best for last. We're gonna do the wolf last.
Okay, so let's roll for a huntsman. So I think huntsman's best stat should be strength. I mean, he uses an axe. He
walks around the forest. Yeah, I agree.
I would say it's a strength.
The only other option I could think of would be wisdom, if he was like descended from a ranger and he's more like in tune with nature. But I feel like he's probably more of a strength-based character because he's probably been hunting this wolf a long time and he still hasn't managed to track it down.
Yeah, so I would say that wisdom is not necessarily his best stat.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 9, a 10, an 8. Okay, this guy is very average.
That explains his incompetence. So
Yeah,
he's an
explains his
11
incompetence.
strength. a 9 dex, a 10 con, an 8 wisdom, and an 11 intelligence and charisma. There we go.
Okay, that sounds good. And you've got Yana of the Wolf yet again. Only getting secondary characters
4,
here.
5, 6.
I think definitely for this guy, charisma is his best stat. He manages to lie to everybody and only gets caught at the end.
And he probably lies because he's not. I was going to say he probably lies because he's not very strong, but his strength's pretty good. But yeah, I agree. He's very charismatic. He's a very charismatic wolf.
I mean, he's kind of strong because he's a wolf, but I would say that he's not that... His constitution is not that good.
Well, his constitution is going to be a 7, so you are correct.
See? The dice agree with me.
The dice agree with me. The dice are on Chucky's side, guys. I'm not sure how I feel about this.
We'll see about
7.
that.
And then wisdom 15, also pretty good, and intelligence is an 11. So he's, yeah. Or maybe we should have made his intelligence his best stat. Maybe he's that, because he can talk. He's a talking wolf.
Yeah, but all of them are talking wolves in the story.
That's
Even
true.
the ones mentioned in the epilogue.
So maybe
that's a
maybe it's not such a
given.
unique ability.
Yeah, it's like a given in this Brothers Grimm world.
Yeah, that guys, all wolves can talk. So the next thing we need to do is
Don't try that at home.
Don't try and talk to the wolves, guys. It might not be relevant, but there might be some combat. There might be some HP issues.
Yeah,
So
I
we're
would
gonna
say.
decide.
Yeah, I would say roll the HP. I would say
Okay.
level 1, and roll it.
All right. So the woodsman we decided is a ranger, and I believe rangers in 5e are 1d8.
Yep. I would say
So-
the grandma is. I would just give her a 1d4 straight up.
That seems fair. So you rolled for the woodsman. Would you like to roll his HP?
Aye, aye. Let's see.
And he has a
1d8.
0 con modifier, so it's going to be just straight up.
6. That's above average.
And then his attack modifier is going to be based on proficiency plus strength, so it's going to be +2 only, unfortunately. Sucks to be him. And he has an axe. Is it a one-handed axe or a two-handed axe?
I mean, he only uses the axe, and to cut down trees or whatever he uses the axe for, I'd say two-handed.
Okay, so it's a D12 then. And his AC, we're assuming he's a ranger, so he's wearing natural armor, but he has no dex modifier. So it's only going to be like in light armor, it would be.
I think 11 is a good thing, but maybe just leather armor. I mean, he lives in the forest; he would have leather armor.
Well, yeah, but since his dex modifier is -1, that would actually make his AC 9 if he wore light armor.
Interesting.
So apparently this guy's just really bad at being a woodsman. Maybe
Yep.
he's like trying to carry on the family name, but he's just like...
He's the black sheep. He's the black sheep. He's not really making it. He's trying his best, but poor him. Not the fates are against him.
Alright, and you roll Grandma's HP?
Okay, let's roll that 1d4.
She
Ooh,
has
yeah, Grandma
10,
is sick. Grandma is sick.
Grandma's sick. And I don't think she has AC attack or damage. I don't think Grandma's going to be
No.
relevant in that capacity.
No.
Grandma's a pacifist. She wouldn't attack even if she needed to.
I think the wolf would be a rogue in this case. So I think a 1d6 is his best stat, with a -1 to it, I think. No, -2. A 7 is a -2.
So he has 3 HP. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, that's why he's hiding.
This is why the wolf is super wimpy. But let's say he attacks with strength, so he has +4 to his attack.
And he does have natural attacks, being a wolf and all. So if in combat, he would get two claw attacks and 1 bite attack.
And those are D6, right?
D6 for the bite, actually D8 for the bite, and D6 for the claw.
Okay. And then his AC is... Natural AC is probably like what? 14, but let's assume because he has a really low dex, it's like 12.
Yeah. I say that's very good. And Red Riding Hood. I think she's just a child. I would say 1d4 again. What do you think?
Okay. I think 1d4 is fair. Oh.
Okay, Red Riding Hood is a very plump, very healthy young girl.
She has 5 HP. which is higher than anyone except the huntsman. She has no attack, no damage, and no AC.
Okay, so let's explain to chat a bit about how this is gonna go. So you see in front of us the roll 20. I just put in the roll 20 just eventually if we need a map. But most likely we won't. Most likely it's only you gonna be staring at our camera shots. The idea is we're gonna roll at the beginning, and who gets to be the Red Riding Hood and who gets to be the wolf. After that,
Ooh. You know what we should do, actually? We should do
Yep.
skill proficiencies.
oh, skill proficiency. Yeah, right. We have how many? Just 2 per character. I think that's good.
Yeah, I think 2 per character is enough.
Okay, so Red Riding Hood. She's. I think. What should she have? She's not that full of wisdom, to put it like that. So
No, she's
I'd say sleight of hand is pretty good because she
Okay.
can move around, keep her things in a basket, and pick up flowers at the same time.
she likes like crafts, right? She likes weaving
Yeah.
things together. That's all kind of sleight of hand. And let me open up character sheet so I should have a list of all the skills. Animal handling. Maybe she's like really friendly with people. Persuasion.
Persuasion?
Does she talk people into things? I feel like people talk her into things for the most part. So she's sort of happy-go-lucky. Like she's sort of oblivious.
Mm-hmm.
But she's very physical. So maybe acrobatics.
Yeah, let's do acrobatics. For a little go, that sounds good.
Okay. What about the big bad wolf?
I think the Big Bad Wolf has deception, given.
Oh yeah. Because that's sort of his shtick, is he walks around deceiving people rather than hunting them because he's so afraid of, getting tapped by something and instantly dying.
And I think stealth. I think deception and stealth are the best over here.
I think that's fair. Deception and stealth.
Okay, good.
All right.
What do you think
Grandma?
of? I don't think the huntsman should get something as well.
Oh yeah, the huntsman. Well, probably not perception because he's failed to ever track this wolf down.
Yeah.
But maybe it's survival because he does live in the woods.
Yes, that's
and
pretty good.
Nature, survival in nature.
And I don't think animal handling.
No.
I don't think that works. So what else should we have?
Well, survival in nature is too.
Oh,
Do you not
knowledge,
agree with
you mean
nature?
knowledge nature?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh, that works.
Okay. And then grandma. Maybe. Well, acrobatics, animal handling, arcana, athletics, deception. I think history don't really make sense for grandma.
Yeah,
So-
I think history would actually make sense for her. I mean, she's pretty old. She kind of knows some stuff.
You think so? Okay, so let's give her history. And. Well, she clearly doesn't know anything about medicine, or she'd be able to make herself better.
Yeah, and she clearly doesn't know anything about animals, even if she lived so much in the woods because she went a wolf in.
Yeah.
Even if the wolf deceived her.
This is tough, actually. I'm not sure
Yeah,
what else she would be skilled in. There's not like a diplomacy check.
No, that's what I was thinking as well. But persuasion doesn't really. Well, you know what? She's got a high charisma. I think we can work with persuasion.
All right, persuasion it is.
Okay, so again to what I was explaining before. Give an example. If Justin now rolls and he gets to be Red Riding Hood, he's gonna be starting the story. So I'm gonna be the narrator. I'm either gonna use my own words or read from the actual story and set a scene. Then we're gonna both play characters. This is not gonna there's not gonna be a GM, to put it like that. We're gonna GM ourselves. We're gonna come to a common agreement and see how this goes. And I mean, let's just roll for characters and see who gets who, and just play that by ear.
Okay. So first,
I
let's
thi-
think about the on-screen time, right? So Grandma and Big Bad Wolf are on screen together. Big Bad Wolf and Riding Hood are on together. So whoever plays Riding Hood should not play the Big Bad Wolf.
Yeah,
So
of course.
and so it's
I
gonna be
think
Big Bad Wolf
I think we
plus
should
Huntsman and Red Riding Hood plus Grandma. So it's gonna be like girls versus boys.
girls versus boys. Okay, good. Oh, one more thing. A couple of things I was thinking about regarding the story itself.
Okay.
Why did the wolf, after he figured out where Grandma is living, why didn't he just eat Red Riding Hood, go to the grandma, and eat her as well?
So I think that the reason that it's safe to send your daughter into the forest where you know there are wolves, and the mother actually says, don't leave the trail. It's really important. I think the trail is magically enchanted. As any traveler who is going from one destination to another destination somehow is protected from the wilderness while they're traveling.
Okay, and I say that we have even a bigger bonus on her because she does actually go off trail and is not eaten. So I say her Red Riding Hood that she always wears protects her.
Oh, yeah, that's good. So maybe the wolf doesn't know that even. Maybe like as soon as she steps off the trail, the wolf tries to bite her, and the hood protects it, and the wolf's like, I need to get the hood off. How do I do that?
Oh, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. So okay, we have just 3 things that we changed around. Just let's give an idea to how Grandma's house looks like. I was thinking just a normal cabin, like wood cabin, 1 door, 1 window, 1 chimney.
Okay, I like that.
Okay, good. And I think that's about it.
Is the window open or closed?
Well, she's pretty sick.
Okay.
I would say the window is open, just because if she had everything closed and being sick and couldn't really get out of bed, not having any fresh air would actually do her more bad than good.
I think that's fair. Okay.
Okay, awesome. So now let's roll. I'd say just roll 1d20. Who rolls higher gets to be on the girls' team.
Okay, that
Who
seems
rolls
fair.
lower gets to be on the boys' team.
And 13, 8. Well, it looks like I'm a girl.
Looks like you're a girl. So, once upon a time, there was a dear little girl who was loved by everyone who looked at her, but most of all by her grandmother, and there was nothing that she would not have given to the child. Once, she gave her a little Red Riding Hood made of red velvet, a little Red Riding Hood that she got from her husband, which suited her so well that she would never wear anything else. So she was called Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother said to her, "Come, Little Red Riding Hood, here is a piece of cake and a bottle of wine. Take them to your grandmother, who is ill and weak, and they will do her good. Set out before it gets hot, and when you are going, walk nicely and quietly, and do not run off the path. Or you may fall and break the bottle, and then your grandmother will get nothing. And when you get into her room, don't forget to say good morning, and don't peep into every corner before you do it."
I will take great care, said Little Red Riding Hood to her mother, and gave her hand on it.
Okay, the grandmother lived in the wood, half a league about from the village, and just as Little Red Riding Hood entered the wood, a wolf met her. Little Red Riding Hood did not know what a wicked creature he was, and he was not at all afraid of him. "Hey, how's it going?"
It's going very well, Mr. Wolf. I'm off to Grandma's house.
What have you got there in your apron?"
Cake and wine. Yesterday was baking day, so poor sick grandmother's to have something good to make her stronger.
"Oh, tasty. Where does your grandmother live? A Little Red Riding Hood?"
A good quarter of a league farther on in the wood. Her house stands under the 3 large oak trees. The nut trees are just below. You surely must know it.
What a tender creature. What a nice, plump mouthful. She'll be better to eat than the old woman. I must act craftily so as to catch both. And you guys walk a short time with the wolf by your side. Suddenly the wolf turns around, pointing at a couple of flowers. See, Little Red Riding Hood, how pretty the flowers are about here. Why not take a look? I believe, too, that you do not hear how sweetly the little birds are singing. You walk gravely along as if you were going to school, while everything else out here in the wood is merry.
So we're going to do our first roll. We're going to do an insight check opposed by the deception check from the wolf.
Exactly. Let's see how that goes.
So that's +1 for red.
And that'll be +3 for the wolf?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's pretty high. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So what does red do?
Let's see. So she understands. So the thing about insight that you always have to think about in D&D terms is that you know that the person has an ulterior motive, but it's up to you whether or not you can figure out the ulterior motive. So I think as a little girl, she probably wouldn't be able to figure it out, but she's going to remember her mother's words and be like, "I'm not supposed to go off the path, even if the flowers are pretty. I'm sorry, Mr. Wolf. I can't stay and play." And she keeps walking.
Okay, then this is what the wolf will be doing. The wolf will just, okay, I'll see you later, Red Riding Hood. And the wolf will run off, not very far, and try and howl as best as he can, coming from the far end of the trail towards her, and try and howl as mightily and as threateningly as he can. Do you feel like that needs a roll?
So it's like an intimidate check?
It's like an intimidate check, but I would say that being a wolf, you'll get an advantage to this.
I think that's fair, yeah.
Okay, so
especially during the day.
Yeah. That's a 1d20 plus 2d20 plus 2 for him, if I remember correctly.
You are correct.
Okay, I just rolled 2 of them. Okay, so you can roll your insight against that to see if you can figure out above a 6. God, the dice are not. Nope.
That's odd. Wolves don't normally howl during the day. Oh well.
Well, the wolf, seeing that his ploy is not working. What should I do now? Oh, I know. I'm way faster than her. I'll just run there, get before her. And the wolf starts running as fast as he can, pounding through the forest a bit, and then just going on the road because it's just faster. And I'm guessing I would have how much is it? Is there any indication of how far this is?
It's so a quarter of a league. League to feet. So a league is actually quite a lot of feet. Wow. Divided by 4.
So how much do we have?
A quarter of a league is almost a mile.
Okay, so we have 1 mile.
So from the edge of the wood to Grandma's house is about a mile, and then we were walking with the wolf for like a little while, maybe a quarter of a mile. So you took off 3/4 of a mile. So you should be maybe 5 minutes ahead.
Okay, I'd say 5 minutes is fair enough.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and mask my voice in a feminine shell as much as I can, knock at the door, and say, "Good morning, Grandma. It's me, Little Red Riding Hood. I've come with wine and cake."
Oh. No, I need a different voice. Oh, no, I can't do it. Ah, I can do Little Red Riding Hood just fine. I'm trying to do another falsetto. Like, I only have one falsetto in there.
Okay, try your best.
Oh, joy! Oh, frabjous Jay! Calloo! Calais! I'm so excited to see my grandmother. Or granddaughter. Unfortunately, Grandma's a little sick today, dear. Just let yourself in.
Okay. And I just lift the latch off, and being invited in, I burst in.
Should we have rolled a check to see if the deception actually worked?
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. But
Okay,
now
so insight.
I think it's a bit too late now, so I think she's
Oh,
decided. But maybe she figures it out. I mean, we don't know what she'll do, but at the last second, maybe she figures it out. So let's roll against it.
okay.
So 16 on my side.
Maybe she has really bad eyesight. So -1 for Grandma's insight. 14.
Okay, yeah, so she doesn't figure it out. She's still she's like close to it. There's something suspicious on the back of her mind, but she's not thinking about it. She's sick.
She looks at the shadow as it comes in, and then she like coughs, and her eyes go a little blurry because sometimes when you cough really hard, you know, your eyes tear up. And so it's all just sort of like, I'm sorry, dear. I don't mean to be so sick.
Don't worry about it. I can fix that problem. And I just jump on her and devour her whole. Oh, that was very loud.
Well, you ate her alive. She's gonna scream.
Agreed. I did not complain
And
against it.
and then she. So you ate her whole, right?
Ate her whole. Yes, I did not chew.
Right? So she's still alive in there. The question is she conscious? So we're going to roll a con save to see if Grandma is conscious. And let's say the DC is like 14. She's an old woman.
Yeah.
It's pretty unlikely that she managed to stay conscious through this, but we'll just... Oh, she missed by 1.
She missed by 1. She is not conscious.
So Grandma's totally passed out, and she will be awake in 4 hours.
Okay. So what I do is I go fast and I shut the door. I take go into her wardrobe, take another grandma suit, jump into the bed, raise up the whatever she was using to cover herself up, and just stay like this and waiting for Red Riding Hood. Okay, continue on.
So you've set up to...
One sec. Okay, Skype is oh no, technical issues. I think we're back. Are we back? No, it's you, Justin.
Skype has been yellow for me. Skype's been giving me problems all.
Okay, do you want to host the call? Maybe that works.
Yeah, sure. Let's play back.
Okay. So just 1 second, guys, until we fix this minor problem. Hope you guys are enjoying this as much as we are playing it. It's pretty damn fun.
I don't see you on Zoom though. Like your camera's not on.
Doesn't matter. Okay, give me 1 second, guys, and I'll fix Justin's camera real fast. We are on Zoom right now. Because, well, Skype has given up on us, and we have given up on Skype. Sorry about the technical issues, everybody, and we'll be continuing.
Just when we were getting to the good part.
Yep. Okay, can you actually go a bit behind, like push your camera a bit away, because your face is centered way too much. Oh, that's good. That's awesome. Okay, like that. Okay, so good. Let's go back, everybody, and see what was happening. So I just ate Grandma alive, and she's still unconscious. So I go.
And you did a setup, right, to see Red Riding Hood. So what I was going to say was that because you had like a small amount of time to prep the deception, should we roll to see like whether or not Red Riding Hood's going to be deceived when she first sees you?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think not a stealth check. Well, it is a stealth check in a way.
Yeah, you're kind of like trying to hide yourself under the cover, right? In a way that she won't notice that you're twice as big as you should be.
Yeah. Oh, let's do a Oh, and now roll 20 is having issues.
Well, the big bad wolf stealth check. He's trained in stealth, and he has a dex of 11, so that's going to be plus
okay.
2.
Let me just roll it on a d20. So it's a 16.
Okay,
oh, so
we'll just note that down. All right.
Okay, pretty good stealth check. So you arrive eventually. So you had been running about picking flowers, and you.
No, I didn't pick flowers. Oh,
sorry, you didn't pick flowers. Yeah, agreed. You ran along the trail happily without any worry. Nothing moving you from your original path, and you eventually get to Grandma's house.
And I knock on the door.
Yes, dearie? Who is it?
Little Red Riding Hood!
Oh,
I'm bringing you cake and wine, Grandmother!
come inside. I'm too weak and weary to get up from the bed.
Okay! And I lift the latch, and I open the door, and without saying a word, I go straight to Grandmother's bed, and I'm going to roll a perception check?
I think perception works, yeah.
Alright, so she had a wisdom of 9, so it's -1, because she did not have proficiency. 15! Oh! That's 1 less than your stealth check. That's
Exactly.
1 less than your stealth check.
Exactly, you missed by 1. Not enough.
The dice are not on Red's side, guys. So Red just is totally oblivious that the grandma is bigger than she's supposed to be, and walks straight up to Grandmother's bed and says, "Oh, Grandmother, what big ears you have!"
Oh, all the better to hear you with, my child.
But Grandmother, what big eyes you have!
Oh, all the better to see you with, my child.
But Grandmother, what large hands you have!
Oh, all the better to just hug you, my dear.
Oh, but Grandmother, what a terribly big mouth you have! This is a very serious illness. It's changing all your physical characteristics.
Oh, the better to have a snack with. And I jump from the bed and try and eat Red Riding Hood. And just because of her being surprised, I think I will have an advantage on the attack, but I think we should do an attack just because she has a pretty good health.
She does, actually. So her dex would actually be, his dex 16, so her base armor would be 13.
Okay, so pretty good armor. Okay, let's see how that goes. So I rolled a 7 without any bonuses I get on the first try, and a 8 on the second one with any bonuses I get.
So the wolf's attack was +4.
Okay, so that would be a 12.
That's a miss by 1.
That's a miss by 1.
It's missed by 1 day, apparently, guys. That's our third, like, almost in a row.
Okay, so what does Red Riding Hood do? Oh, actually, I think we should do initiative.
Yes, we're actually gonna roll initiative. This is pretty funny.
This is pretty funny. I would have 15 with his dex. I think is what dex does he have?
He has an 11, so there's no plus.
Okay.
And Dex Red rolled a 22 total.
22, awesome. Okay, good.
19 plus 3.
You go first.
So you tried to eat her. She dodged out of the way. And what would a panicked little girl do next is the question, because you got to think she might run away, right? But then she also wants to know where her grandmother is. So would she? And she's a silly little girl. And the only weapon she has available to her is the bottle of wine. So would she try and hit you with the bottle of wine?
Do you want to roll for that? Do you want to see like roll?
Yeah, let's say run away, hit with the bottle of wine, and cower in panic, and just do nothing. So cower in panic is 1, hit with the bottle of wine is 2, and run away is 3.
Okay, go ahead. I just trust you. I can't see you because Roll20 is flicking up for me very badly.
It was a 2. I wish Shaq could see it, but so attack with the, what did I say?
With a bottle of wine.
Yeah, attack with the bottle of wine was 2. So improvised weapon, and let's say, can we say it's a finesse weapon?
No, I'd say improvised weapon.
But if it's a bottle of wine, you need finesse to attack someone with a bottle of wine. Ask any Frenchman.
Okay, why not? Why not? Let's make it a finesse weapon.
So that's 17 to hit, and it's 1d4 damage. And since it's improvised,
yeah.
I don't get stat. Right?
How much health does the wolf have?
The wolf has 3 health.
3 health. Okay, let's see. So yeah, you don't get.
So this is basically a 50-50 whether or not we knock the wolf out.
Let's see what happens.
2.
2. So
the wolf is at 1 HP.
Okay, good. So it's the wolf's turn. He's gonna try and first he's gonna do his claw attacks. Try and knock her unconscious.
Okay.
So he rolls a 6 and a 4. None of them pulls. None of them hits. And
he needs to roll a 9 on the die to hit.
Let's see about that bite. Oh, he rolls a 10 on the bite.
All right, that's a hit.
Okay, that is a 1d8.
Yeah, 1d8 plus 2.
He rolls a 7.
So that's 9. That's her entire HP.
Yeah, he gets like gobbles her up.
So he's devoured. Does that count as damage?
I would say she's just devoured.
Okay, you're not going to roll death saving throws to see if she's stable in there?
Well, I mean, he was pretty scared at being actually knocked down. So I would say, yeah, that's pretty good. We should roll death saving throws.
Okay, so she needs 3 successes to be stable. She comes alive in his stomach with 1 HP.
Oh yes, she does. Okay, so it seems like Grandma is back alive. No,
it's not Grandma. It's Red. Red Riding Hood's back alive.
In his stomach. What does she do?
She has 1 HP. I imagine she starts like kicking and punching, right?
She sees Grandma near her. Okay.
No, she can't see anything. It's dark. She might be able to feel Grandma.
Oh, yeah, she might be able to feel something else there. So,
let's like roll a perception check for the darkness, right? See if she can understand where she is and what's going on and what the other body next to her is. So perception, wisdom. So that's -1. 14.
I'd say she gets a disadvantage for absolutely nothing around her.
Okay, I'll roll twice. So it's 12 then.
Okay, what do you think? I'd say that's a fail.
I think that's a fail. So she doesn't know where she is, but I imagine she's going to panic and just start punching. So let's roll a 1d2. On a 1, she punches Grandma. On a 2, she somehow manages to like punch the wolf. Maybe like that's 1d4 actually. 1d4, she punches the wolf on a 1, or she punches Grandma on a 1, and 2, 3, and 4, she punches the wolf. How's that sound?
That sounds good. I'm okay with that.
So she rolled a 4, so she's going to punch the wolf, and it's a flat 1 damage.
But the
and
wolf...
she misses.
Oh, she misses. Okay, but the wolf only has 1 health.
Yeah, but she missed, so it's fine.
So I'm thinking that she got there very like she just woke up from unconsciousness. There's no air, so I think 2 more attacks until she goes unconscious again.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. So what does the wolf do?
The wolf, I don't know, what would the wolf do. Did he eat her? I don't think he ate her with the bottle of wine. You know what the wolf would do? The wolf will uncork the bottle of wine and start drinking very fast as to try and drown her, and then eat and drink and try and drown her.
I think that's fair. Okay.
Alright, so what do you do to that?
Let's have her actually roll a like as he's drinking, and it's following. Because apparently he has like no digestive tract, right? Everything just goes straight from his mouth to his stomach. He's some sort of magic wolf.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's roll a dex saving throw with a DC of like 12 to see if she accidentally like gets a face full of wine, and if she fails, she gets 1 less round of consciousness.
Okay, good. That sounds good.
So that's a 17. So that's a pass.
That's a pass on the second turn.
Mm-hmm. So she's gonna get 2 rounds before she passes out from lack of air.
So roll another save.
But she does get her second attack.
Yes.
And it's a flat 1d20. It's a 4. She misses
4
again.
is a miss. Okay, roll that save again. The wolf is going to continue on doing this.
Roll 1d20 plus 23. That's another pass.
That's a pass. Okay, and roll your attack.
So after this, so if she doesn't hit this round, she's going to pass out. It's a 13.
Is the
The wolf's AC was 12.
Oh, that's a hit. So she knocks the wolf. Actually, no. One thing I wanted to point out: would she attack in the same space every turn?
Oh, that's a good question. So we have to roll the 1d4 again.
Yeah.
To see if not 2. She still hits the wolf.
Still hits the wolf. Okay, good. So she hits the wolf, and the wolf falls unconscious.
So now the wolf needs to roll death saving throws, and Red passes out because it's been 2 rounds in her stomach.
Yep. Let's see about that. That's a 10. Actually, sorry.
That's a pass.
I should see roll them here.
Well, we can take the 10. The 10's a pass, so this is his second roll.
Oh, 20, not 10. So 18 and 13. All 3 passes.
Okay. So the wolf is going to be awake in 1d4 hours. Roll that.
Okay, 2 hours.
Wolf is going to be awake in 2 hours, and everyone is currently stable.
Everyone is currently stable. So let's see about...
This goes to show you that just because you're a wolf doesn't mean you can go around eating girls. It's not as easy as the experienced pros make it look.
It's a hard job. Boys and children, it's a hard job.
Someone apparently has to do it.
Okay, so let's see
All right.
about our huntsman.
So we decided that the huntsman is like the nephew or the stepson, maybe something. So he's coming to visit. He probably comes to visit on a regular basis. So how many hours do we want to have pass before he comes to visit?
I think going just a 1d10.
I think it.
Or maybe 1d6.
No, D10. I think D10 is too much because there's like 8 hours of daylight depending on the time of the year. So let's say it's like 1d8.
Half of day. No, I would even say half of daylight because he wouldn't visit her at night when she is sleeping because she's a grandmother. She sleeps a lot earlier than other people do.
So like 14 hours of daylight, so like a 1d6 or a 1d7?
Yeah, 1d6 sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, feel free to roll that.
1d6. 6 hours.
6 hours, okay, so I wake up.
So the wolf wakes up in 2. What does the wolf do?
Like, damn it, this feisty girl. and I slightly punch my stomach easily, not to hurt her. And I get, oh, that's a good mighty snack. And I just go on and look around. What if I just take a nap? I deserve it. There's been a long day's work. And he gets into bed, covers himself up, rolls onto a side, and the wolf doesn't really like sunlight, so he like takes the whole cover and puts it above him and starts sleeping, snoring loudly.
All right. How long does he sleep for?
Well, I think just 8 hours.
Oh, so he's going for a full rest.
Yeah,
he's like, I haven't left. I need to get back to full HP. Such as it is.
Okay, so by the way, one thing: did Red have manners enough to close the door or not?
I think Red closed the door. I think it's pretty sad, but the window is still open.
The window is still open. Okay.
So that's an important point.
Good. So after about 4 hours, you arrive, being the huntsman, at Grandma's house.
So I can probably hear that snoring through the window, but let's roll a perception check.
I say just a DC 12 is enough.
Okay, DC 12. He rolls a 9.
He does not hear it, so he acts just normally.
Yeah, he just acts normally. He like comes up, he knocks on the door.
Okay, let's see.
Does that wake the wolf up?
Let's see if it wakes the wolf up. I think he just ate a lot. He's sleeping. He's snoring. I'd say a disadvantage perception check is what's called for.
Okay, so he has +2 to perception.
No,
definitely not. That's a 7.
Okay,
so he doesn't wake up. So the huntsman, knocks again. He doesn't hear anything. Maybe he gets a little concerned. It's just a latch, right? And anyone who's been invited in can go in.
Yeah, the latch is actually open because she didn't ever close it. I mean, she closed the door, but the latch is still open.
Correct. So he opens up the latch, walks in, and he sees the giant mound of blankets.
Yeah.
And
I think you can roll an insight check to see if
does the snoring give it away?
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's still a -1 for him.
Or is the grandma just a drunken kind of a grandma, drinks a lot, snores a lot, it's something usual.
So that's an 11. I think that's a fail.
I think that's a fail. I think grandma is kind of a drunkard. That's why she.
So he sees the dropped wine bottle on the floor, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I get it."
Half a cake eaten, and so on. So
it's an uneaten cake, actually, because the wolf didn't eat the cake.
No, I said I started golfing down the parts of the.
Oh, did you? Okay. So what does the huntsman do? He's come to visit Grandma. Grandma's totally asleep. And apparently a little bit of a drunkard.
Yep. So what does our intrepid huntsman do?
Well, I don't know. I'm on the girls' team. You're the boy.
Oh yeah, I'm with the boys' team. I forgot. I was just giving you the role. Well, I think just because we get to be 2 characters right here and the other 2 are unconscious, I'm gonna give you the role of the huntsman.
Aww.
It just seems fair because we have 2 characters here. I don't want to roleplay with myself. That would just seem weird.
You heard it here first, people. Chucky doesn't want to roleplay with himself. Anyway, moving along. Okay. So let's roll. I want to roll a care check to see how much he actually cares about Grandma.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to do that though.
So I think just a 1d20 maybe, and roll with Grandma's charisma.
Ooh, that's a good one. So what's the DC?
I would say that 12 is just okay. I kind of like her, but in this state, I'm not really gonna care too much. I'm gonna leave her be. I say above maybe 14, 15, whatever you think best.
Okay, that was a 9.
He doesn't care.
So he's like, whatever. She's asleep. I came here to visit on my day off, and she's just
She always does this.
I go and pick up the bottle,
Okay, so
you know,
as he
set it on.
walks around, starts talking, I think another perception to see if the wolf wakes up again.
All right.
let's
So
do
the
that.
wolf's. That's you, actually. I don't know why I'm typing.
Oh, he wakes up.
Okay. Well, what does the wolf do as the woodsman is
s-
bumbling around?
So the woodsman is mumbling. I'm only just listening to see what he's doing. So continue on about you're doing.
Okay. Well, I start neatening things up, you know, because I'm probably here to like mostly take care of Grandma. I probably bring some food with me. I drop the food off in the larder. I put the bottle on the counter, muttering to myself about how ungrateful women are.
Okay,
Wondering
so
why I can't find a woman to settle down with.
I'll do a prepared action, and if he gets close or actually just touches my cover, I'm gonna full attack him, and I'm gonna say, is is that is that you, nephew, Boris?
So I get to roll an insight check to see if the voice matches my expectations.
Yeah, and any more deception.
Which is a flat d20 for me. 16.
And I think I would get an advantage on this. Why? Because
I failed my perception checks earlier.
Failed your perception. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, so 2d20 plus what? 3 for him or 4?
So it's deception. It's plus 4. Probably not going to cut it.
Natural 20.
24. So cleared by 8. I'm totally deceived, and I'm like, ugh, you're awake, huh? It's about time. You enjoy your bender?
Oh, sorry. You know, it happens from time to time.
It happens a little too often for my taste.
Well, thanks for visiting, but do you want to do this tomorrow? I'm a bit too tired.
Whatever. I'll see you when I see you.
Close the door on your way out.
Yeah. I wasn't raised in a barn.
Were you?
And I guess the huntsman leaves.
Okay, and I like, oh, that was gross. Oh, damn it. And I think I don't see anything else happening.
No, I think that is the end of the story.
I think that is the end of the story. So you've seen it here first, guys. The wolf has won the story. He has eaten and digested Grandma and Little Red Riding Hood. So I'd like some reactions. Like, this is after this. Okay, so let's see. How did the mother react to finding out that Red Riding Hood never came back home?
My baby! My baby! You have to find my baby! Kind of like that.
Okay, and
then she became frigid and refused to ever have sex with her husband again because she didn't want to have the disappointment of losing another child.
Okay, good. And let's see about the huntsman. What does he think of Red Riding Hood? Because it would reach him, because the mother would come to Grandma's and see what's happened.
Um,
And he would find like wolf fur all around the bed. So how will he react when he realizes he was deceived by the wolf?
I think the only thing he could, like, there's two options, right? He could tell the mother what happened and vow to, like, hunt down the wolf at all costs, no matter what it cost him, and that could be like the epilogue, the new epilogue is him eventually finding the wolf. Or he could hide the fact that he was deceived, and drink himself to death.
Yeah, because I mean,
I think those are the two options.
I would say option 2, because it's in the family and he's already failed so many times. Nobody really believes him worth of being any kind of a huntsman. So I think
I think he drinks himself to death.
Yeah. Okay. He drinks himself to death.
Put that bottle to his head and pulled the trigger.
Whiskey alibi here. Okay, and that is the end of the first episode of Pinball Storytellers.
And the wolf lived happily ever after.
Yes, and ate many more children along the way.